So, thank you to everyone who subscribed and who watched and commented on my last video. Please do the same on this one. I'm actually enjoying doing these and I enjoy watching and making this type of content, so it's great. This one, I'm going to start my farm and build my starter house. So, let's just get right into it. This one is a sad one. How do I waste money quickly? I am 22, female, and I just learned last week that I have a terminal brain tumor that has unfortunately grown so much that nothing can be done for me anymore. The doctor gave me 9 months at most to live. So here's my question. The last 3 years I have been saving up to go to college next year, but since I won't be doing that anymore, I want to spend all the money before I die. I have a little over $24,000 saved up. I initially thought about leaving it for my siblings, but I remembered that I have never actually enjoyed my life. I don't go out, I don't do substances, I hardly buy any clothes that are nice, I have never smoked or touched alcohol, so just give me some expensive recommendations to spend this money. I know it's not a lot of money, but I just want to give myself a parting gift. Thanks in advance to everyone. Now, that's just sad. I would advise this person to go to multiple other doctors just to make sure. But if they know that they really probably do only have 9 months at most to live, then yeah, I understand. Like, you want to spend the $24,000 you've saved up in your life to just enjoy the last 9 months of your life. I couldn't imagine being in this situation. But dang. There are so many places I'd want to travel to. There's so many things I'd want to do and experience. Man, that's just sad. So they actually did edit this, and we're going to read the edit right now. Edit. Thank you everyone for your recommendations. I live in Europe. I use dollar currency because I know most Reddit users live in the US. I have traveled around here a lot. I've been to all the Balkan countries, Greece, I go frequently to France and the Netherlands. I've been to Prague, never heard of that one. Austria, Croatia, Czech Republic, Kenya, Senegal, Myanmar, Namibia, Vietnam, Bangladesh, Samoa, USA. I've done my fair share of travel, but I've been fainting a lot lately and I'm prone to seizures, not so frequent though. So I'm trying to do something in my comfort zone that doesn't require too much physical energy. I may have also worded this post a bit wrongly. I wasn't really looking for traveling recommendations. I have actually traveled a lot, all the time with family. I wanted to do something for myself, personally, other than traveling. Okay, so honestly, you have enjoyed your life because I will bet 99% of people, especially in the US, have not gone to that many countries. Now, I do think in Europe it's a bit easier to like go to a lot of countries because you know how in the US it's kind of easy if you want to, spend the gas money. You can travel to different states. In the US, each state, people don't realize in the US, but it's pretty much its own, each state is kind of its own country in a way, not totally, but in a way. So Europe is kind of similar. Each country is feels a little bit like a state to a lot of Europeans. But that still doesn't negate the fact that there's a lot of cool countries in Europe, and she's clearly seen a lot of that. So that's really cool. But she's also gone to Africa, like she's gone to Kenya, and she went to Samoa, which is technically a U.S. territory, but it's still an island. It's pretty cool. And then gone to somewhere in the U.S. She doesn't specify, so that's pretty cool. Honestly, yeah, I could imagine a lot of people gave her travel recommendations, but if she's satisfied with her travels, then I don't know. You leave in the comments, what would you do if you only had 9 months to live and $24,000 to spend? I imagine $24,000 in life savings is more than most people have, and it's definitely more than like 99.99% of 22-year-olds have, that's for sure. So, what would you guys do? Geez, I guess we're sticking to sad ones for the beginning of this video. My bad. But it's still an interesting story. So, the title of this one is, well, I can't even imagine that it's really happened. So, my great aunt, who I barely knew, passed away last month. She left me her house with her will, which shocked everyone since we maybe spoke 5 times in my entire life. I went to clean out the house yesterday and found dozens of photo albums filled with pictures of me from birth to present day. Pictures from school events, graduations, even candid shots from when I didn't even know she was there. She had newspaper clippings of every achievement I'd ever had, including ones I forgot about myself. There was also a letter explaining that she was too shy to have a relationship with me, but wanted to watch me grow up from afar. She said she was proud of the person I became. Now I feel terrible that I never made an effort to get to know her better. How do I deal with the regret about relationships you can't fix anymore? Wow, that's actually insane. It's kind of weird, but it's sad at the same time. Like all three of those things at once, because clearly she's your aunt, your great aunt, and she obviously loves you just for that fact, but she barely got to speak to you. I have a feeling this person is like a famous person on an anonymous Reddit account because for two reasons I think that. The first reason is what made her nervous to like get to know you and be your be your aunt. I don't like have a relationship with you. I don't understand that, but that does happen. And then the second thing is like, what do you mean newspaper clippings? Like you have a bunch of achievements that made it into newspapers. So maybe this is a famous person and maybe that's why. I don't know. But either way, that sucks. Like just put yourself in or I think it's his, they don't say, but whatever. Put yourself in this person's shoes. Like imagine like a great aunt of yours dies who you barely knew and now you've inherited her house and other family members are like, wait, she got the house? What? I'm confused. And not only did she get the house, but apparently she loved you more than you realized and was proud of you more than you even knew. And now you just wish you got to know her better. Man, that's just gotta suck. That's gotta be hard. That's really gotta be rough. I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Comment down below. And while you're down there, subscribe, all right? Help me get to 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, this house, by the way, in between stories, this house is just, listen, man, I'm trying, okay? I'm not the best builder, all right? I'm not. I promise you later on in this series, we're going to build an epic house. And it totally won't be something that I got inspired off of from YouTube, okay? All right, let's take a break from the sad stuff and go to something that's very frustrating. This could be kind of funny too, but let's get into it. How do I tell a guest to leave? I have a guest staying over. It was without reason and last minute. I also live in the countryside. They have been here a month. I thought it would be 3 to 5 days, but no. They are very sensitive and I don't want to set them off. They have a lovely home 2 hours away. They also refuse to shower. The smell is the worst part of it all. Please advise ASAP. We offered to drive them home, but he said no. Edit. This is also a relative. I should have mentioned this. Alright, man, listen. Why are they at your house overstaying their welcome awkwardly if they have a nice house 2 hours away? I feel like you should have added more. Like, you gotta at least kind of know why they're doing it, right? Like, it's not like you just invited vampires into the house on accident and now they're just chilling in your house like homeless vampires. Like, I don't understand. It's got to be like, well, you live in the countryside, so I was gonna say maybe they live in a nice city and they don't want to. No, but that doesn't make sense. You got to talk to them. Like, what's going on, dude? you're, I love you guys, your family or whatever, but you overstayed your welcome. Goodbye, dude. Like, you, I want you gone in 2 days, and I'll drive you home if you want or whatever. But yeah, that's insane. You can't just be, I don't know, but it is awkward and stuff, whatever. Like, you don't want to ruin your relationship with family, whatever, whatever. But and they're not showering too. That makes it so much worse. Like, why? You're stinking up the house with your BO? Like, no, none of that. I would not be cool with that. No. This is another interesting one, and I'd love to hear what people of all ages have to say in the comments for this one. Is it okay to charge my kids rent? My 41 female boyfriend, 60 male, 60. Why do people, by the way, talk like this on Reddit? It's so annoying. Why don't you just say, I'm 41 and a girl. My boyfriend, who's 60 years old and is a male, or why would you even say male? You just said boyfriend. Like that negates the whole point. It's just so weird. People talk like that on Reddit. I just don't understand it. So this is a 41-year-old female with a 60-year-old boyfriend, and they've been together for almost 3 years, but they don't live together. Okay? Anyways, now that we explained that like a normal person, let's continue with the story. Jeez, man. He has two daughters in the home, ages 29 and 22. He believes kids should be charged $600 per month for rent as long as they're not going to school, okay, based. He charges the 29-year-old rent, based. She has Asperger's, struggles to be financially responsible, and so struggles to live independently. Okay. The 22-year-old is still a student, but close to graduating. I have a 15-year-old and a soon to be high school senior who is 17. He is not interested in college at this time. He mows lawns and is working on building a lawn mowing business. Yes, that's awesome. And wants to do that straight out of school. That's awesome. I told my boyfriend that if we get married and move in, I'm not charging my child rent. Even if I did, it would be much lower and I'd probably put it back into a savings account based. Maybe surprise them later when they move out. Otherwise, I feel like I'm just taking advantage of them financially and would rather them save up for their futures. They would not get to choose the house that we chose to live in and so should not be forced to pay rent. He said otherwise they'll never want to leave. I said I don't get that. I was ready to leave after college and was never charged. I get his 29-year-old situation and she doesn't do good alone, but I probably wouldn't make her pay that much. We don't agree on this and I could use some thoughts on kids paying rent versus not. Edit. I'm now wondering, is this a red flag? No, it's actually super normal and based. They should be paying if they're, even if, so what my mom did is as soon as I turned 18, well, no, actually, as soon as I got out of high school, which was after I turned 18, she made me pay rent. And it was only 200 a month at first. And then when I got a better job, it was more. And then when I got a better job, it was more. But yeah, and she didn't need my money to help pay the bills. So at all. So what she did is she just saved it for me. And yeah, and then when I moved out, she gave me all of it. No, she didn't even give me all of it actually. She just gave me as much as I needed to move out. And then she still held on to a lot of it. And then when my car started having troubles, which I regret selling my car because I could have, I just needed a new alternator, which is like $200 to $400 or $500 fix. But I bought a new car instead, and she gave me all the rest of my money to help me buy the new car. So it's like, that's cool. You can do stuff like that. And then it incentivizes you to not just be lazy and be in the house, right? It teaches you like you have to pay rent. Like, yeah, it's a great thing. The kid with Asperger's has issues with money and stuff. Well, this could help her with that. It's not hurting her. It's only helping her with that. So yeah, I think this is good, and it's definitely not a red flag at all. It's not bad, it's good. Um, yeah, everyone should do that with their kids. Let's read some comments though. Charging rent to adult children who are not in school is very common. I don't even, yeah, if you're in school, like college or whatever, or like finishing up high school, then maybe not. But yeah, if you don't want to do that, that does not make you a TA. I don't know what TA means, but okay. Personally, charging an adult who is neurodivergent $600 a month when they have money management problems and not assisting them to get support is a pretty big red flag, though. I don't know how bad the Asperger's is, so I'm not even gonna say anything. Whatever. I don't know how much that affects you. Like, so yeah, I don't know. I know like autism can get pretty bad if that's basically a form of autism. If it's really bad autism, then yeah, you gotta help her in other ways than just teaching her to say. But whatever. Someone else says my mom charged me 200 for rent and bills when I moved back home 20 years ago. I was 20. I think 600 is too much. 200 I was able to save and get a place on my own. See, but so that's probably your mom was just taking your money, not saving it for you. But yeah, if she was saving it for you, then 600 is not too much. But anyways, on the other hand, I won't and haven't charged my kids rent. My husband mentioned doing it once when our oldest graduated, but 200 and secretly putting it away so they have some extra when they move out. Yeah, that's based. That way it also gives them some responsibility of paying stuff, etc. We never did, but that's the only way I do it. Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's the best way to do it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's actually good. You're just teaching them another lesson. Shoot, even do that at like the age of 14. Like give them chores that you pay them for, but then they have to pay you back like rent, but you're just going to save the money. If you're an adult who's if you're a parent who's in a financial position to be able to do that with your kids, do it because it's only going to teach them good lessons. It's going to teach them to work hard for something. And yeah, it doesn't even have to be a lot. Like when they're 14 or when they're 12, you could start doing that. And like it could just be $50 and you pay them $50 a month or something if they do the right chores, and then they have to pay you 25 of that, and then they get to keep the other 25 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that teaches responsibility, and unfortunately the world revolves around money. So yeah, anyways, I feel like I'm blabbering on way too much. You guys are here to hear stories, not just blabbering. My bad. Let's get on to the next one. Got fired on my first day and I don't know how to tell my parents. Okay, interesting. I'm 15 years old. Okay, that's below the legal age to even legally have a job. So I'm assuming this isn't a big deal, anyways, but let's continue. I'm 15 years old, and on my first day, I got fired because I went on my phone to check some text and watch a little bit of TikTok. Come on, man. And when I got off, my manager told me that today is my last day because I went on my phone. Yup, that makes sense. I'm really stressed and just want some advice on how to tell my parents. Okay, well, listen, let's be honest. Most jobs, a lot of jobs, you can go on your phone. Like you could figure out a time to go on your phone or just check your phone, even if it's just for 5 seconds. But there's a time and a place for everything, and that's like as long as you're actually getting your work done, right? Then the reality is most jobs aren't going to be tripping on you checking your phone or whatever. So to get in trouble for it means you got someone who's like just annoyingly obsessed with being like a control freak, like you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, or you have you're just not doing it at a good time. Like you're there to work. You're not there to watch TikTok. Like that's insane. Like that's during your break time. You're only 15, so it's just another lesson. But I mean, like think of it like school. If you're at school, you can't be on your phone unless you're past your maybe you're done with your work and you're waiting for whatever next class, between classes, lunchtime, before and after, all that stuff, right? So think of it the same as work. It's like, okay, I just did a bunch of stuff. Now I gotta wait for, maybe you gotta wait for a different worker to catch up to you or something. Okay, maybe that's a good time you could check your text, but don't go on TikTok. Like, no, that's insane. Anyways, this person said, update. I update with 10,000 explanation points. Jeez, chill out. I told my parents hours ago. I was just being dumb and didn't decide to update this, but I did learn from my really stupid mistake of being a dumbass, and they were disappointed in me, but still offered to help find new jobs for me. I know some of these comments here are very harsh, but that's what life is sometimes, and I definitely learned this. By the way, the reason why I'm working at 15 is because I wanted to. Well, good job, little one. You getting keep that hustle up and save as much of that money as you can, boy. All right, let's do this. Is probably gonna maybe be the last one. Found a men's undershirt wrapped with stained women's shorts and shirt in my linen closet that aren't mine. I'm a woman married to a man. I was getting a blanket out of my linen comforter closet. She's using a lot of words that I don't know. Like, is this stuff I just don't know about, or is she from a different country? I think it's a different country. Just like in Britterland, they called some certain bags a tote. My mom says tote, and I call her British because she uses the word tote to describe a certain type of bag. I don't care if that's technically what it's called. You sound British. Anyways, they were balled up together. A man's tank top slash undershirt and a woman's shorts that appeared to be dried up, that appeared to have dried up body fluid stains on the crotch area with a woman's tank top. They were not my clothes. I asked my husband. He said he doesn't know how they got there. I only had two couples stay in the home before overnight. One was my parents and one was my cousin and his fiance. My parents say it's not theirs, and my cousin's slash fiance's says it's not theirs. I'm really conflicted and don't know what to do. I don't think my husband would disrespect me by bringing someone into their home and into my home in that way, but the clothes didn't put themselves there. Maybe they did. Want to know a crazy story of from me personally? My mom kept finding random clothes in the house. I think she still does to this day, and literally nobody knows why they're there. They don't fit anybody in the house. Anybody. They're like a kid size almost, but they don't fit any of us. And they just keep appearing there. There's been like two or three outfits and random shirts and pants and stuff. So there is a real fairy that goes around to people's houses and leaves clothes. I'm just kidding. Well, I'm not kidding. That's actually happened to us too. But yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. Um, did you think he cheated? You think something else happened? You think you don't know? Who knows, man? Really, who knows? Leave in the comments, what do you think happened? Do you think he cheated and forgot to clean up the mess? Or do you think there's a fairy that's leaving clothes in random people's houses like I do? Because I'm telling you, that happened at our house. And it's crazy. Anyways, this video's over. I'm just messing around. Please like, comment, and subscribe. That's all we have for today. I hope the house looks okay. I'm literally dying right now. Let's get back in here. That's what I get for not putting a door on my house. Jeez, look at me. I'm dying. Oh my gosh, man. I forgot I didn't put a door on this house. So we're just going to watch this together. Because I just pre-record the gameplay and then I throw it on top. But I'm actually interested. What did I do after this? Oh, just keep expanding the ground over here. Don't like bother putting a door. Jeez, what's wrong with me, man? I hope you don't watch these videos for my gameplay. And it's more so for the stories because no, I hope it's for the gameplay too. The next one is going to be interesting. I found a cave and I'm basically going to be conquering the cave full of mobs. It's going to be a good episode tomorrow. Rate my house, my little mini starter survival house, out of 10. Is it a good house? We're going to replace these with logs that just face that towards the player. Yeah, so leave in the comments. I want you to rate my house. What is the rating? That way I also know who made it to the end of the video.